Hey, with all that has been happening with the receiver market here the last few months, just kind of wanted to get your sense from your perspective of watching how people are being rewarded and how that might impact an impending extension for you.
Yeah, obviously very excited about guys being able to go out there and earn paychecks and do that. I mean, it's opportunity for a lot of these guys. It's just, I mean, it's life changing money for anyone. It's life changing money. So to see some of these guys being able to get paid and go do see all the work they put into the course of their entire lives, being able to see that come to a place where they're not changing just the lives of themselves, but their families and their kids and their kids. And that's just a really cool thing. So excited for those guys and the opportunities they're getting there. And certainly, you got to be excited about just markets and how they change and what that did for a position group that I think has kind of been stale for a little bit. But being able to see some guys kind of push the market up has been pretty cool.
Is there any part of you that given the year that you did have last season, that you want to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL?
No, that's not. I mean, I don't think that's really kind of the approach that I take. I think there's guys are slotted in different places. And I definitely think there's a place that you want to be. There's a place that I think you feel like is fair, and a place for both, for me and just for this organization. And I want to be there. I'm not trying to beat anybody. I'm not trying to compare myself to anyone else. It's more of just being in a place that is, I think being in a place that is just right for both sides.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Maria.
Hey, Cooper, with all the changes in coaching and even in players, what's it like to have new coaches and to have Liam back in the room?
Yeah, I mean, having Liam back's great. We got Oli back as well. Two guys that were here my rookie year. Oli was here my rookie year, but then Liam coming in for a couple of years and was even in our room with us for a little while. So it's great having just a few faces that I've seen back here. Some guys that I've worked with before. Very excited about even some of the other guys that we get to work with. And it'll be great once you get kind of out in the field doing some stuff. I'm excited about that. And we got some players in here too. I mean, we got A-Rob coming into our room and being able to kind of talk with him, just football stuff, life stuff, just kind of feeling out kind of the person that he is. I'm just so excited about the way that he's going to mesh into what we're about as a receiver room and what we are asked to do as a group when it comes to competing for this team and producing. And he's just going to fit in so well. So I'm excited about getting out in the field with him.
What's the advantage of having somebody come back that was already there before?
Yeah, well, I think you get a little bit of continuity of just these guys know what the culture is here. They know what we're about. They know what Sean's about too, in terms of just working with those guys and just the continuity in terms of that approach and how he approaches things and the game planning side of things and how he thinks about the game. I think that's a big piece of this. So when you've got guys that understand the thinking, they're bringing new and fresh ideas as well, but they also aren't going outside the scope of what we are as in terms of what our identity is. They're not having to learn that. They know who we are and what we're about, and they're able to allow those ideas to flow within that. So I think that's a big thing for us, and to have someone where Sean isn't feeling like he's having to retrain someone or show someone kind of this is what we're about and this is how we do things and this is how I see coverage and how I want to attack things. These guys know it. They know how he sees those coverage contours and how he wants to attack them, and be able to collaborate and bring some good ideas there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cooper. Hey, it's been very admirable the past couple of years watching the iron sharpens iron that was you and Robert Woods. How difficult was the business side to see one of your best friends in life get moved?
Yeah, I mean, it is, like you said, it is the nature of this business. I mean, the hardest part is you lose a friend that you get to see every day. You don't lose a friend, but you lose a friend that you get to see every single day and work with and play this game with. So he's always going to be a great friend. He's always going to be my brother. We'll always stay in contact, and but excited for him and the opportunities that lay ahead of him there and in Tennessee. And I think he's going to be able to come back from this injury and be able to do some incredible things. So always going to be pulling for Rob. And it is one of the hardest things. I lived it every single year. There's someone that goes. I think there's only a few of us left that were from my time here. There's only a few guys left on this team that I've been with the whole 5 years. So it's just the nature of this business. It's an unfortunate piece, but it's also a piece that we all understand. Is going to happen. So it's obviously tough to see, but like I said, I'm excited for Rob, and we'll always be close. We'll always be guys.
Yeah. Hey, Coop, when you play 6 extra weeks, especially with the amount of balls and touches you got last year, are you, for lack of a better word, any more conservative in this off season or more aggressive in the weight room or in therapy so your body can be ready once it's time to play?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the name of the game is ultimately the goal is to come back a better football player. There's a short amount of time. I can't do the same thing I did the year before, and I don't want to. I don't want to do the same exact thing I did the year before. I want to find the ways that find the things that worked for me the year before, do those things and do them better. How can we be more efficient with your time? Allow your body to get back to where it needs to be, but also be able to get the work in that you need to. And so it's just it's a goal of not trying to. I think if you just do the same thing over and over again, you're not growing in that regard. So I want to be able to improve on what I did the year before, in the off-season perspective of what kind of workouts I was doing, how I was programming, all that stuff. But then the same way, I got to be more efficient. You got to find ways to do it better and quicker, and be able to build your body back for being able to put a better product on the field and being a better football player. So definitely take a different approach, but I would like to think that would have taken a different approach regardless of whether we played into February or not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jordan?
Hey, Cooper, in light of the Rams sort of being very public since even last month about wanting to get something done with you this spring, what is that balance? I know for you, you're very football first, but what's that balance in deciding, hey, I'm still going to be a part of this full off-season programming, and not doing sort of the navigation that you do see sometimes happen as these contracts are discussed this time of year?
Yeah, well, I think it's important for me to be here, be around the guys and be around this team. And, the goal at the end of the day is to win a world title. Whatever is going to get us in a place where we can go and compete for another world title, to put us in a better position where we can be a better football team. And that's the goal. And I think the best thing that I can do is to be here and be a part of that as this thing kind of starts to get implemented and starts to grow. I also think it's best, to be, some guys do different approaches. I'm not saying one approach is better than another, but I think being able to be here, being able to hide Sean's hair gel in the morning, little nuisance type things like hide Les's bike. Can you do some stuff that just kind of bothers them? Put them, like, can you open your drawer only open his pin drawer, 2 inches. Doing little things you couldn't do if I wasn't here. So I think being able to be here just gives you a more tactical approach to things. But yeah, I'm going to be around my guys. I love the guys I get to play this game with, the coaches that I get to work with. So I'm going to be here and work on being a better football player and being able to put our team in a better place for this run of things.
Hair gel and Jello.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pull out all the stops.
And then if I could follow up, slight pivot real quick for you. You were so hyper efficient already in some of your off-season work last year, in sort of re-engineering some of the things you did. So where is there left for you to go at this point? Because you are wanting to keep building off of what you did last year and what you and Matthew and the rest of the offense did last year. Where can you get more efficient? Where do you reverse engineer at this point after sort of being at the apex of the league last year?
Yeah, well, no one has ever in the history of football, basketball, whatever sport you want, no one has ever arrived. MJ never arrived. Jerry Rice never arrived. Wayne Gretzky never arrived, right? Like every single time they were trying to get better. They were trying to be a better football player, a better basketball player, hockey player, whatever. They were trying to be better than they were the year before. And, that's the goal. The goal is not to put more, statistical numbers out there. The goal is not to make more catches or yards or anything like that. The goal is to be a better football player. So there's so many things that you can go through from last year Like just how you're hitting how are you hitting these blocks? How are you going to get off the ball? How efficient were you against press coverage? How good were you with kind of your handwork, with your footwork, with how precise were you when you're running these routes? There's so much that you can be better at. I mean, it's across the board. I can get very, as Sean says, I can get very granular here, but I'm going to keep it pretty broad strokes and say, there's things across the board in terms of my game that I want to be better at, want to be more efficient at. And I'm not saying that that's going to make me, catch more balls or, that the stats might not reflect that, but I want to be able to look at myself at the end of the year and say I'm a better football player this year than I was the year before. And that should be the goal of our team. We're not out here trying to defend championships. We're trying to go out and be a better football team to pursue a championship. We're not trying to defend anything. We're trying to just be better, move forward. The mindset is, forward focused and being the best version of ourselves that we can be.
Thanks, Cooper.
Yep.
All right, we'll wrap up with Kaylin, then Modesti.
Hey, Cooper, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I know that you're at least, stationed in Oregon with Brandin Cooks. And I know that y'all used to train at eForce, having the similar people in circles. But I mean, how close are you with him, and how excited were you when he got his new deal?
Yeah, no, yeah. BC and I, we stay in contact. We talk all the time. So I was pumped to be able to see him, get an opportunity to kind of, get what he deserves. He deserves some more money. The things that he's done and just how efficient he is as a receiver, the career that he's put together, and then just the leader that he is. I mean, as a cultural fit to a team, there's not many guys better than Brandin Cooks that you want to build your team around, and someone you can hold and say, look, hey, this is what we're about as an organization. We will be about the things that Brandin Cooks embodies, and so I'm so pumped for him to be able to get that opportunity, and he's more than worth what he got paid. So excited for him, and he's just going to keep doing his thing, keep his head down, keep grinding, and pretty extremely proud of him and what he's been able to do, and in light of kind of the things he's gone through in terms of moving around teams, and obviously the time that he had here, and some of the battles he had to go through. So he's just continued to battle and continue to push and continue to strive to get better.
And quick follow-up, I know that the off-season, I guess, off time for you has been a little bit shortened this year, but were you able to get out to eForce, and were you able to train with some of those guys and tinker? Like I know you said you've been trying to get better, but were you able to get out there?
Yeah, I didn't do that. I had up in Oregon, I built it out where I was able to do all my workouts at home, and try to maximize the time I get with my family as well. So being able to do workouts in the morning, and then spend the rest of the day with my family. So I didn't end up being up to eForce, but I know those guys are grinding.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Modesti.
Hi, Cooper. Trying to stay ahead of the defenses that are always going to be focused on you. How is that different when you're preparing one season to the next, as opposed to 1 week to the next, as you did pretty successfully, obviously, last season?
I'm not sure how much, you prepare for like that specific thing. It's, you never know how defenses are going to play you. You try to, anticipate some things, but, I think there's little things you can do in terms of, figuring out kind of what kind of ways can you, win at the point of attack to be able to set yourself up where, typically when you're one-on-one, if you don't win at the line of scrimmage, a lot of times you still have an opportunity to win at the top of the route. When you get doubles and things like that, it becomes imperative to win at the line of scrimmage because you need to set yourself up to be able to beat the next guy at the top of the route. So try to find ways whether it's, is there somewhere within that space, between as you're setting up, you're coming off the line of scrimmage or somewhere in the intermediary area where you can, set guys up as well, and be able to have some stuff off of that, and figuring out just new places to add in, little things in your tool belt. But, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and drop, well, what if they do this, if they can do all this different stuff to, try to cover different ways. At the end of the day, if they're doubling me, we've got a lot of football players that have one-on-ones, a lot of really good football players that have one-on-ones. And, that is what we've been built on. We've got guys that can make plays. Fully expect that Van, A-Rob, that Tutu, that the guys that have played in this have played with us and played some really good football can go out and do some really good things and be able to make plays for us if they're trying to take one person away.
Mm-hmm. And then last thing for me, listening to Matthew Stafford earlier, it sounds like last year he came into these to this program as kind of a student, and now he's become a teacher. What difference do you see year to year from him?
I talking about Matthew?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I would say he was maybe a student for the first maybe 3 days, and then he kind of took on that teacher role last year still. So his capacity for understanding offenses and what we're trying to do, and then his subconscious competence to be able to execute things without having to think about them really, and what he's been able to do in this offense in such a short amount of time. I mean, the sky's the limit. I think I'm excited to be able to get out in the field and just see just how much further it's come, and be able to learn from all the things that he's seeing as this just continues to progress, and the things that he's going to bring to the table as well as we try to continue to improve. Right? I mean, our offense, we aren't going to say, okay, well, we figured it out, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. Right? It's about growing. How can we be more efficient? How can we be more explosive? What kind of tweaks and things can we do to be better? And the things that he's going to bring to the table, I'm really excited to see, because it's just going to continue to grow in that regard.